Dandadan.
All right.
Task this one over to Brian.
So we pick up last from where we left off last chapter with all the flies flying in the air, flying all over the fly. But instead of actually picking up with the flies, we go back to creepy gym guy as he's picking up Miss Adachi and tosses her onto a couch.
I hate this motherfucker.
He's kind of just bragging about how he'll solve all of her money issues after he trades all of his stocks.
Is he a Sigma? Is he Sigma
Yes.
coded?
Yeah, this is Sigma code.
Yes.
We found him. We found the Sigma coded male.
The student has become the master.
And as he's kind of like hunching over her, a bunch of the what's it called?
I forget what they're called, but the
Flies?
ghosts. No, the Kung Fu ghosts.
The Kung Fu ghosts that that grandma was fighting. They pop up behind him.
What's that about?
Remember they fought them. Granny, what's her name? Ayase's grandmother fought.
Yeah, with the bull there, right?
Yeah.
But like, why?
But
are
she
they
manifests them. That's her power.
That's her fault.
Yeah, that's her power.
So the granny had to fight all of those things because that lady summoned them, the teacher.
Yes.
Why would she do that? When did that happen?
She's one of the people that were given abilities by the guy.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, you could go on, Brian.
But a bunch of them get summoned, and she, I guess, is pulling out the blades, the steal your power blades. And she's kind of like delaying the attack. But Jim Bro turns around and he goes, "What the heck? I threw out the garbage yesterday." And I guess it's because they smell bad. So he thought it was the garbage, but it turns out it was the zombie guys. But not just them, it's also a bunch of flies and insects. As we cut back to the school squad that are fighting the headless dribblers. They're also being kind of overrun by a bunch of bugs and stuff. And it turns out that it's actually Yukishiro's ability. It's not a power of like amplifying singing, nor is it the power to just control the pygmies. It's the power to make small things obey her order. Dubbed the Lord of the Flies, which is pretty fire. This is a nice little 2-page spread of her playing the piano as well. Pretty nice. As we cut back to the gym bro, literally being like, his face is covered in flies and bugs and shit.
Josh's worst nightmare, literally.
And
he said they're getting into every possible opening.
I think I'd kill myself.
And knowing this series, he literally means every possible opening.
Josh's face. Josh is stuck in a perpetual state of pause and ew.
So he's like really stressed the fuck out. He's like he's squirming. They're all over him. He hunches over. And I guess she takes this as the opportunity to go in and try to take his power. But first she tries to get him to accept defeat, and in exchange she'll spare his life. He kind of misunderstands and thinks that this is her doing. And he's kind of just like, "Oh my god, you've been collecting powers too?" And he reaches out to, I don't know, grab her, but he kind of like grabs her hands and admits defeat. As he kind of cuts himself a little bit onto the blade and transfers over the severed head dribblers to her. And as she's kind of like looking at her power, she forgets that this dude is literally being engulfed by fucking insects and he's going, help me. And she kind of jumps in to try to clear off all the bugs. She gets all the other zombie guys to help out as well, but honestly there's nothing they can do as he gets lifted up into the air and he's getting carried out of his window, literally breaking through the glass and flying all the way back to the gymnasium, which we see the squadron have kind of like everything's cleared up over there. All the headless dribblers are gone. The floors are fucking destroyed from all the heads that are flying in. And Yukishiro falls over from being dizzy. And as they go to kind of take care of her and stuff, that's when the gym teacher busts through another window with all the bugs, and they swoop in and drop him right in front of them. And he's kind of just like, what the fuck? Where am I? What am I doing here? And he immediately gets up and he's kind of just like, you three are already on home. It's already dark out. And as he's walking away, what's her name again?
Ira
fucking roundhouse kicks him right on the side of the head and sends him flying, calling him a pukey pig bastard.
Goated.
And he's kind of just like, well, all right, the pictures of Yukishiro, right? I'll delete them, no problem, so he could just drop it. And he immediately puts on douchebag anime villain face and goes, if we make too big of a deal out of this, it won't look good for you either, will it? I mean, those dirty pictures.
I hate him.
Wow, he gets kicked again right in the fucking same
exactly.
spot.
And the next page, another 2-page spread of her fucking doing a jumping kick. And as she says, you've got it all wrong. What we want to hear is more along the lines of, I'll be off to the pen now. The pig pen.
Oh!
And that's where we end today's Dandadan chapter. Chris, what were your thoughts?
this chapter is something else. I don't want to see a redemption for this guy. I hate him, which is a shame because I love his ability. I'm glad it got passed on to someone else so that someone else could possibly get this ability and use the...
his ability is the headless.
Yeah, the severed head dribblers. Someone who can hopefully use them for good. But man, I like this chapter of Dandadan. It was pretty good. I'm interested. I think Yukishiro's ability is pretty cool. Summoning the bugs and stuff. He explains why the pygmies are so into her and stuff. She controls small things. The bugs are excessive. Yeah. I know Josh hates it.
Don't care for it.
No. But yeah, I like this a lot. I think these ghost things that Adachi can summon are so swagged out. They're really cool. I love their design. I love that they come in like this. That shit is so tough. Yeah. They come in with that hitting that sick pose. Yeah, I mean, Dandadan's great. I had a good time reading this one. I guess next week we're gonna catch up with the goat Kinta and Okarun. So they'll probably go out and save them and stuff, and catch up with them. So excited to see where that goes.
They're not dead.
Yeah, one of them is one of those like scary cyborg looking ones. So, yeesh.
Yeah, the alien that they fought, right? That was really, really strong.
Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see how that will go.
Bro, Okarun is dead,
dude. But yeah, Dandadan was really fun, as usual. But those are all my thoughts. Josh, what did you think?
Do you remember the teacher's name?
Adachi? Which one?
Yeah, Adachi has made me a fan of getting the leotard and bunny ears for my next partner. Never thought I liked something like that until I seen it in a comic book page. Interesting. I'm definitely not going to tell her that. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Think of it as an idea that you thought of, not that
Mhm.
you read it in
Yeah.
the drawing. You saw a drawing
That's
of it.
exactly what I'm going with. Like, I made that up.
You know what this cool idea I had and didn't get it from anywhere else, especially a Japanese manga?
So this bunny fit. Throw that on. I needed to have the little poof tail on the back too. It's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, fun. It was a really fun chapter. This guy needed to get his head kicked. You notice how the first kick went straight to his temple up here?
Yep.
It's nice. Rattled his brain around for sure. Did serious damage in the moment and almost certainly in the long term as well. Probably as much damage as 6 seasons of playing in the NFL as a running back or a linebacker.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's serious. If he survives, he might be able to sue her, because that was a little excessive, but he did deserve some type of retribution against him.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what happens next.
Hell yeah. Brian, what did you think?
This is a fun little chapter. Honestly, the Lord of the Flies panel was pretty fucking cool. I don't know. I really liked it. Even though it's like a simpler 2-page spread compared to most 2-page spreads in the series. I don't know. It just carried a lot of weight to it. And it had a nice little like resolution for her like storyline throughout this arc. So it just felt pretty cool. And also Lord of the Flies is a pretty fire nickname, honestly. But aside from that, I don't really have too many thoughts. This was a pretty nice little chapter, Dandadan.
Yeah. A good conclusion to half the arc so far.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to Ginta and Okaroon.
I need
soon enough.
Kinta to step up.
Ginta and Packaroon.
Well, he's gonna need to. He's gonna have to be like the main guy in this fight, because Okaroon doesn't really have much.
I fucking hope so. He's got a cool thing
Who
too.
hits better poses, Frankie or Ginta?
Frankie. Frankie has a lot of practice. He has a lot more years under his belt of poses and shit.
But
you're personal.
Frankie hits the one pose. I love it. I love Frankie. Frankie's probably my favorite Straw Hat at the moment. But man, Quinta and his looks, the way his fucking face, his body moves in weird ways. That was really good.
Be like, yeah. I love that one. That's when he looks. You know who he reminds me of Eric Cartman.
Yeah.
On South Park, like his facial expressions. Yeah. Whenever they had him like look to the side, like his double chin. Oh my god.
Yeah. But either way, I'm very excited. I love Quinta. I think he just makes me laugh. Just a specific way they draw that guy is so funny to me.